Join the community, guys. Hit that subscribe button. So it looks like the Deontay Wilder fans are making up excuses again. Because the number one excuse I keep seeing is a lot of these Deontay Wilder fans are claiming that, well, this whole idea that Anthony Joshua is talking about that he wants to face Deontay Wilder on April 13th is all just BS. It's all just for show. He's doing this knowing that there's no way he could fight Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder has a fight scheduled for April 13th against Tyson Fury, right? That's basically the number one excuse. But the funny part about that is that fight isn't fucking finalized. That fight isn't fucking confirmed. The rematch between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder Part 2 is not confirmed for April 13th. They're talking about making the fight possibly that day or maybe in June, but it's not confirmed. No, there's been no announcements where you see, Frank Warren, or Deontay Wilder's team saying, all right, the fight has been confirmed. The rematch is on. The rematch is on for April 13th, 2019. If you look anywhere, it's not. If you look at go to BoxRec, there's no Deontay Wilder has no fight. He has no fight right now, which means he's free. You understand me? He's free. So stop acting like Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury already have a fight confirmed for that day, because he doesn't. Tyson Fury has no fight next, and Deontay Wilder has no fight next, because they haven't sat down in the negotiation tables and fucking signed the fight. They just have been talking about it. That's what they've been doing, talking about it. Talking about it is not the same as fucking actually signing to make the fight happen. So as of right now, Deontay Wilder is a free fighter. So stop using that bum-ass excuse that Deontay Wilder has a fight with Tyson Fury. And I already told you guys, when it comes to these big unification fights, it doesn't matter if there's if the organization orders for a guy to rematch this guy, or he's a mandatory, so he has to face him. Because if fighters really want to make the fight happen, a fighter could send a request to that organization saying, listen, I want to unify with this guy. This is a bigger fight. Make this fight happen. And I'm pretty sure that organization, unless they're protecting the fighter, they'll be like, okay, we'll let this fight happen, because the WBC already told you guys that they know that this is a big fight. They know that everybody wants to see Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. So why in the heck will they say, you know what, fuck that, Deontay Wilder, we're not going to make Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder? Why would they do that unless they're really protecting him? Which might be the case, because I already told you guys how I feel with the WBC. I feel that the WBC is they really are kind to Wilder, and they give him passes for certain things. But again, if we're going to be using this excuse that this is just all talk, Anthony Joshua is saying this, but he knows Wilder has to fight and he's obligated to fight Tyson Fury. Why weren't you guys saying that when Anthony Joshua was mandatory to fight Alexander Povetkin? Well, you know what guys were saying? They were saying, well, he's ducking Deontay Wilder for Alexander Povetkin. They were just ignoring the whole obligation thing about fighting Alexander Povetkin, right? Because he was the mandatory, right? They were just ignoring that shit. They were fucking ignoring it. I remember seeing people making videos who are anti-Anthony Joshua, ignoring the fact that Alexander Povetkin was the mandatory for his WBA strap. And they were just saying that, oh, he chose to fight him. Why couldn't... They were saying the same thing I'm saying. They were saying, why couldn't he just tell the WBA, nah, I don't want to fight you, Alexander Povetkin, I want to fight Deontay Wilder to unify. They were saying instead he chose Povetkin because he was scared of Wilder. That's what they were saying. That's what a lot of these people were saying. And again, are we going to keep using that? This is why I keep telling you guys, next year, almost 100% certain, Deontay Wilder will be facing Tyson Fury, and Dominic Brazil, and his fans are going to give him a pass for that. Because just like they're saying right now that, oh no, he can't fight Anthony Joshua because he's forced to fight, apparently he's forced to fight Tyson Fury in a rematch, right? Then if he beats Tyson Fury, I guarantee you they're going to be saying the same thing about Dominic Brazil. Because then after he beats Tyson Fury, immediately Anthony Joshua is going to start saying he wants to fight Deontay Wilder September probably, right? And then what? are his fans going to be saying, oh no, but you see, the fight can't happen because Deontay Wilder's obligated to face Dominic Breazeale. He's obligated. Or maybe even the winner of Chisora or Dillian Whyte, because I read a piece where the WBC was saying that they're waiting for the winner of Chisora or Dillian Whyte too. So maybe, he might be even obligated to face one of those. So is that going to be the excuse then? Oh, nah, he can't face Anthony Joshua because he got to face Dillian Whyte, or he got to face Dominic Breazeale. But I have a big feeling it's Dominic Breazeale because I don't think the WBC want Dillian Whyte anywhere near Deontay Wilder. That's just my personal opinion. So I think he's going to be Dominic Breazeale. Don't give me these excuses anymore. I believe that in boxing, if fighters really want to, if these guys really want to unify, it doesn't matter if they have mandatory obligations, they can make the fight happen. You see other undisputed champions who became undisputed in other divisions. I'm pretty sure they had mandatories, yet they still managed to become undisputed. Right? How was it that Lennox Lewis was able to become undisputed? How was it that Terrence Crawford was able to become undisputed? How was it that Alexander Usyk was able to become undisputed? How was it that Mike Tyson was able to become undisputed? I'm pretty sure that when all these guys were facing each other, I'm pretty sure they had mandatory obligations. Had he not fought Usyk, he probably would have fought somebody else, right? But they still were able to they still were able to become undisputed. So don't give me these excuses that fighters there can never be an undisputed champion. That's just a way for you to protect Deontay Wilder. There can never be, I hate when people say that. I hate when people say there can never be an undisputed heavyweight champion or an undisputed champion in boxing. People always say that. There can never be an undisputed champion in boxing because there's mandatory obligations. Well, fuck that. Because it has been done. If these fighters really want to become undisputed, they could make the fight happen. And you could and these organizations could give them a pass and be like, all right, you don't have to defend your belt against this guy because you're going to unify with this guy. Again, all those guys I mentioned that became undisputed champions, I'm pretty sure their opponents who were the champions, they also had mandatory obligations, but they still managed to fight each other to unify to become undisputed, right? So stop giving me this bullshit. I hate when people say that. I see some people saying that too, like, oh, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua will never fight. They'll never be undisputed heavyweight champion because they have mandatory obligations. They have mandatory obligations. That to me, that's like an excuse for people to use as to why these guys can never fight. Like if they're afraid to watch Deontay Wilder or if they're afraid to watch Anthony Joshua fight each other, they use that as an excuse. Oh, the thing is they can never fight because they have mandatory obligations. I'm sick and tired of these mandatory obligations. At the end of the day, if Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua really wanted to fight, they could fight April 13th. Fuck this Tyson Fury rematch. I already told you guys. Deontay Wilder, take the fight. Fight Anthony Joshua April 13th. If you beat him, then you can fight Tyson Fury. And then if you beat Tyson Fury, then because Wilder has to eventually fight Tyson Fury just to take away that dark cloud. The people thought that he lost that fight. Anyway, guys, stuff to say. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'm out.